Okay, so Aries, April 19th to May 13th. Original Aries before they switched over to the 12 zodiacs. Ram, Mars, Iron, Carnelian, Emerald, Gall, Pancreas, Tuesday, and Diamond. We're just going to start off with the tarot cards for you guys, okay? Responsibility, a little bit of chaos. Okay, 3 of Coins in reverse. Quite possibly you've lost your keys. Maybe whatever you used, some form of creativity to tap into your highest version of yourself, you've kind of let that go, or you're maybe putting it on the side for now. Chaos, I seen that earlier. So maybe there's a lot that's going on right now in your life, and instead of focusing on maybe the spiritual aspect of things, you're kind of like dealing more with the 3D world right now. You will be rewarded eventually. The more you keep up with your spiritual side, the more you start doing things for yourself and reflecting and doing your inner healing. Queen of Cups. So you do have a lot of love. You have good intention, whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're sitting down and having a tea with somebody specifically. You've got a chair set aside, not just for yourself, but somebody else. And you've got a rose in your hand, so maybe you've been given your flowers. Somebody that you know very close to you is giving you your flowers. And you've put them in a vase. So maybe there's some sort of love life or something like that that you're dealing with right now, Aries, that's got you a little bit distracted from anything else that you're going through right now. Handle, be careful of any, I would call them vices, but I call them handles. Like a lot of people say vices, but I call them handles. So things that can be used against you, whether it be like smoking, drinking, or gossip, or anything like that. Those sort of things that usually other people can flip or use against you somehow. Like, oh, you did this, or you do that, or you smoke cigarettes because whatever, and so this is your fault, or you gossip about that person, so now you're caught up in some drama you don't even want to be caught up in, right? So maybe avoid that. Pay more attention to what it is that you need to do for yourself and stay focused. Yeah, there's some sort of partnership. 10 of Cups in the upright. So maybe this is something that you've been wanting for a long time, a wish fulfillment, or maybe this is a union within yourself. So you've been waiting a long time to kind of tap in or be balanced in some way. So either it's you, I see 2 females. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic thing, but it could possibly be a romantic thing. But it's you and another person. So you may be focusing all your time specifically on this person, and I wouldn't say an infatuation, but definitely you've been putting more of your energy towards this person. Like a companionship. Page of Clubs. Maybe there was somebody paying attention to your relationship before. They're not really paying attention now, like kind of like a lookout. That could be where the gossip comes in as well. But it's almost like they've turned away. They're not really doing that anymore. Or whatever they needed to see, they've seen, so they just kind of let it go. Something to do with shame. That could be a test too. You have to understand that anything that happened in the past is in the past, and you can learn from it. So instead of being shameful, just acknowledge, okay, maybe I didn't know better back then, but I know better now. So moving forward, what am I going to do about it? And it's more like a test. It's just what you learned, whatever lesson you learned. Have trust and faith in yourself. King of Swords. Like I said, I see 2 females here. I'm not seeing male entity or person, but it is a masculine energy for sure. This is typically somebody who is not afraid to like take charge, usually noble, not afraid to do what it is that they need to do. A little bit on the needy side, this person that's in their masculine energy. I have a feeling that they themselves are in the masculine energy as a form of protection. So whatever they need, it's like a transformation. Maybe somebody's in between right now. They just recently separated from somebody else. They do like going out. Let's go to the Love Oracle back here. What can we get for Aries? Like Oracle. What about this relationship? Or this companionship, I should say. That's got Aries a little distracted. Experience. Ooh, the chaser. Chaser and codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. So if you're ever in a relationship and the only reason you're with them, if this is ever you or this is the other person, and the only reason they're with somebody is because they're afraid to be alone, they're afraid to do like the inner healing or just spend some time, quality time with themselves, get to know what they like, kind of reacquaint themselves with their inner child or do whatever shadow work that needs to be done. A lot of people put that off and they don't really want to experience that part of it. They're not ready yet, and it can be a little bit painful, but it can also be, depending on who the person is and what they've gone through, like a huge trigger of fear of abandonment and being abandoned again by either other people, whoever's around them, if this has been something that's reoccurred again and again and again, if this is you or your partner. That's not a good basis to start any relationship off on. You definitely don't want to be codependent on anybody. And if you're constantly chasing them around, then you're going to end up ignoring maybe your gifts or stuff that you really enjoy doing. See how he's got like the instrument there. So you might be ignoring what you really drives you, what's your passion. And instead of focusing on that, you do have good intention. I mean, you got lots of love to give, but the thing is that wherever you're putting your energy, you know, that's what's going to manifest the quickest as well. And then we've got runner, but it's in the reverse, so I'm not sure if this is you or another person. It's funny how we have them come out side by side, chaser and runner dynamic. So this is runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening and letting go. Okay, so the whole idea of like push and pull, like magnets, if you're constantly chasing after somebody or you're really clingy or the other person's really clingy, it can kind of come off as like a little bit of a turn off, like you're really, you know, you'll be the other side of the magnet and you'll be like more to repel that. So there's got to be some sort of like equal balance there and an understanding instead of being codependent on each other or having sort of fears that pop up that aren't even acknowledged. If you're not acknowledging this stuff, I mean, eventually it's going to come out one way or another, whether it be your actions or your words or just the situation in general that develops. Listening to ego, that's a huge thing too. And you've got the masculine and feminine energy. Again, like I said, I'm seeing two feminines, but this could be even in a friendship. You know how two people butt heads? Let's say one person's doing something that's really not like favorable for themselves. And then the other person's their friend. They're trying to give them a heads up like, hey, like, listen, whatever you're doing, like, I don't agree with it. You really shouldn't. That's not good for you. Or, you know, that whole thing that you're doing, don't get into it because you may regret it. And then you butt heads because the other person gets in the defense and they're kind of stuck in their ego. And they're like, well, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's like, and then you get in a huge spat, a huge fight or something like that. And you go your separate ways, or you know, you stop talking to each other for a little bit. That could be the issue here too. But you've got a push and pull kind of scenario going on. And I do see two females going here. This masculine that was in the reverse over here, this could have been somebody on the outside just kind of peering into the situation, and it's almost like they've either given up or they're just kind of going their own way. They're no longer interested in reporting back or gathering any information, and they're really not interested in fighting either. This person kind of does things like not wholeheartedly, like kind of just, I want to say half-assed, but they really don't put their full potential into it. Gradual absorption or acquisition as of knowledge, osmosis. So taking everything in and kind of transmuting it the best way you can. But that's going back here again to your gifts, talents, and abilities. Anything that you're really good at, don't ignore that. And the one gentleman sitting down that's playing the instrument here, he's got gray boots. So he's found his balance. That's white and black put together. So you got like gray area. Really, really focus on what brings you joy. That's like your authenticity. What can we get here? What else can we get? Aries. What else can we get for Aries? Experience. Breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, and abandonment. Again, with the abandonment and the whole idea of breakup and separation or going your separate ways. So notice the pattern when you get in a situation and it's unfavorable. Notice the pattern, recognize it. Okay, I've been in this situation before, and try to approach it differently. Instead of doing the same thing again, learn whatever lesson you can from it and try to handle yourself, because that's all you have control over, right? Not the technically not the situation you're in, just yourself, how you think, how you feel, how you act, the words that come out your mouth. That's what you have control over. Don't try to control other people or the situation, okay? And just if there's silent treatment, if somebody's not speaking to you right now, give them their space. That could be the whole runner chaser dynamic too, because if you become too clingy, too codependent, fear of abandonment in that, it can come off a certain way, and not everybody appreciates that or understands that fully, why a person becomes like that. So this may be you. If this is you, it's not like you're bad or anything like that. It's just that you've become dependent on another person to make you feel a certain way when it comes to emotions, instead of acknowledging where that abandonment issue or that fear, or maybe not self-fulfillment, whatever makes you happy or brings you joy. Instead of acknowledging that, you haven't really quite touched on that yet. And you might just be literally chasing the other person away, right? So I would definitely pay attention to the patterns, acknowledge them, break the cycle so you can move forward. Because this other person doesn't look like they'll play too much, right? They got a sword ready to go. And your fulfillment may very well be a relationship, but you gotta be able to be comfortable enough with yourself first. Or you may just bring in certain unhealed things into a relationship. Or this could be them. They could be bringing some certain things in that you weren't expecting. Be rational about it. Okay, what can we get here? That just fell on the floor. What is that? The Empress. Okay, so in order to get there, you need to be very, very skilled in discerning your energy from another person's, have gone through each of the queens, have experienced quite a bit in life, and yet not allowed that to harden you. And you've utilized your gifts the best way possible to not only protect yourself, but to manifest and create whatever you desire, to acknowledge certain things and learn the lessons that you need to manage your own emotions and understand certain fears or things that come up, to navigate any tests or any blockades or anything placed in your way that may be from other people or even yourself that you call in. You really have the insight to know this sort of stuff. So you're probably already well aware, if this is not you, this may be the other person, you're probably already well aware of what's going on. You don't have to worry too much about it. Find your happiness, remember what brings you joy, and kind of stick with that instead of maybe going and putting all your energy in just to one other individual. Okay, what else can we get here for Aries? Star. Combining form, astro, and yeah, stellar. What else we got here? Superstitious interpretation of the stars and planets as affecting human life and destiny, astrology. So maybe you're into astrology and you're into the tarots. If you're watching this video, clearly you're into tarot. And maybe that's something you want to get more into, or maybe you're really educated yourself in this sort of thing, so you can help and navigate yourself, use the cards as tools to help you and guide you in whatever decisions you want to make for yourself. Just make sure you're thinking logically, not rash when you make certain decisions. And if it feels like you're being codependent on another, you almost feel like a panic kind of anxiety, or that fear of abandonment coming up again, if they're not around you for a long period of time, then you need to address why, and you need to address where that's coming from, so it's no longer an issue. Okay? State or declare confidently, forcefully, affirm, Warrant and profess. Maybe you need to say what you need to say to this other person instead of holding back, or they need to speak to you about something. Have a time where you can sit down quietly with the two of you and discuss whatever you need to discuss. For some reason, I'm getting that other person as well. If this third party is still kind of kicking around and maybe not taking too much information in, but they're still, maybe they are asking questions, or they're just a little nosy for their own. This could be a person that, almost like a love triangle. Maybe they have something like an attachment to you or this other person. Maybe they like the other person that you're involved with, or they like you and they don't want really necessarily another person being involved with you. So they're just kind of being nosy. It could very well be the case. The problem with that is it gets a little bit complicated, because you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, but you have to be able to acknowledge certain things, like say, you know, I'm not, you may feel a certain way for me, and I've thought about it, but I just do not feel the same. And I understand you may feel a certain way with this other person coming into my life, but I just want you to know I don't think of you as any less, and I do respect you still as a person, but you have to understand that I have certain boundaries, and I can't have you constantly, you know, if you're not asking me for my well-being and you're just trying to be nosy in my business, I really don't appreciate that. Like, communicate with the other person, let them know. Surface structure, again, this could be like masking, this could be not really speaking the truth and kind of beating around the bush. Merely formal or grammatically consistent relationship between words of a sentence, a distinct form, a deep structure. So whatever you need to say, make sure it's clear, concise, you get the message across, you're not pussyfooting around or saying things just to make sure you're not hurting a person's feelings, but you also say it with respect and clarity, so that you can give the other person closure, so that they are not constantly trying to get in that whole dynamic of like a love triangle. Roman Catholic, this could have something to do with religion. Roman Catholic, 16th to 18th century England, who defied the law requiring attendance at Church of England services. And right underneath that is romance. So this could be like could be similar to like a Romeo and Juliet scenario. I don't know about that, but it doesn't feel that dire, like there's going to be like a horrible ending or anything. But the whole idea of star and star-crossed lovers is there for sure. Maybe you've met in a previous life, or you just have that you just have that spark between you and this other person. Romance in verse or prose, especially as written in Middle Ages. Romantic, idealistic, but impractical or absent-minded. So that whole being on cloud nine, not really focusing on anything else, just the other person, could have you lose your keys, your ability to tap into your higher self, because now you're taking all that energy during the exchange and you're like giving all that energy to that person, you know, instead of sharing mutually. And having like that sort of balance is really important. Keep that in mind, okay? What else can we get here? What can we get for this third party person here? This Page of Clubs in reverse. They're losing a lot of sleep. This is supposed to be the rest and relaxation card, but it doesn't feel like they're getting any rest. Maybe they're thinking too much, or maybe they're in a depressive state. Honestly, that is not your fault. You cannot control how other people are going to react. The only thing you can do is communicate and do your part on your end. Or maybe this is somebody that you know that is spending a lot of time in bed or recovering from something. Even if it's like a betrayal, or if it's just an illness or something mild. Doesn't seem like it's anything huge, but it could just be like I wouldn't say a form of heartache, but similar to that, like disappointment. That's it. That's what I was thinking about. Eventually they'll have some sort of breakthrough and they'll understand, they'll move on their way, or you'll have the breakthrough in what it is that you need to say anyway. Clarity, yeah. What else can we get? Clarity. What about, what's this? 10 of Cups in the upright. Can you clarify 10 of Cups for Aries? Inspiration. Maybe you will get more inspiration back. Maybe go out to an event. You know how they have those events, especially during the fall fairs and stuff like that, or just see other artists, or get creative yourself, or maybe go listen to a concert. Yeah, Ace of Swords. Take charge, move forward, do what it is that you need to do for you. Between you and this other person, you will prevail in whatever that you need to do. Just make sure you're communicating thoroughly. Something to do with berries. Don't eat those berries. The little ones up top here. Yeah, I wouldn't eat those berries. Unblock. What else can we get there? What's the Ace of Swords? This is my cover card for studying. Take time to reflect on whatever you need to. Ask yourself certain questions. If you're a little bit confused about something, then that's not flow. So just maybe go in and do some introspection and figure out where it's coming from or why. Like I said before, if you're feeling that runner-chaser dynamic, or there's a push and pull constantly, you know, 1 minute the other person's lovey-dovey, the next minute they're not, and then you're lovey-dovey, and then the next minute you're like maybe saying names or something like that. Just figure out and learn the lesson so you don't repeat the pattern, okay? Good year. What else can we get? Current. Yeah, flow. Conventional direction or trend, mainstream, current, conventional. Maybe you have a platform or you like social media a lot. Or maybe that's how you're speaking to this other person. They could be a high priestess themselves. Conventional or widespread. Prevailing or prevalence. Moving forward. Overcoming, right? Current and interesting or important as news might be. Topical, current in an electrical circuit. So maybe there's that spark or that completion of a circuit when your two energies are together. Circuit that changes in directions continually. Alternating current, AC. Could be for AC. Current in an electrical circuit that flows in a single direction, or DC. Current of water, which is also race. Current or backward pull of receding waves after breaking on the shore under tow. Maybe you feel like you're being swept up with emotion right now. Current or dangerous eddy in a narrow channel caused by tides. A maelstrom. Excuse me. Current or swirl moving against the main current, often creating a miniature whirlpool. So that's almost like looks like a tornado, but it's under the water. Okay. Convert altering current into direct current and rectify. So maybe between you and this other person there has been not an equal exchange of energy. Again, like I said, address that, figure out why. Maybe you need to give that other person space, or maybe you need space, but at least say something. Be like, hey, listen, I would like to spend some quality time and go out and do something for myself, or maybe go to the museum or something like that, and I would like to bring you maybe next time, but I would like to go to do some thinking that I've been, you know, wanting to do for a little bit, or just take some quiet time for myself. And it's not personal. And if the other person gets defensive, well, then that's going to be a red flag to let you know that there is a little bit of codependency there, and then that's going to be something you need to discuss and talk about, okay? With a gentle manner, not like disruptive or just pointing the finger and making them feel a certain way. What else can we get? Straight. Yeah. Straight, arrow-like, relating to straight lines. Rectilinear. Straight, combining form. So whatever you need to say it straight up. This could be very well that you're not into the same sex, so that's not a problem either. Just make sure you're communicating what you need to say to the other person, so that, what do you call it, you're not stringing them along, because if you start doing that, that becomes a problem too. And this could also be this other person out here. So somebody that has, let's say you yourself are both, and you're interested in this other person that is feminine, but they have masculine energy, and you and this other person are really hitting it off and getting together well, but this other person is masculine and masculine energy, and maybe their wish fulfillment is to be with you, but that may not be exactly what you want. They're doing some planning, and maybe whatever they really are hoping for, you know, it's technically not your fault. You're letting them down. You're just doing your own thing. But again, like I said, speak up, say what you need to. If you don't feel like it's your place, or if you don't even want to bother with that, that's fine too. That's also a choice. Okay, last couple. Let's get a past life oracle for Aries, Native American. Do your research, find out about your background, your DNA, and of your previous history. If you're into this sort of thing, the spiritual aspect of it, then definitely tap in, talk to your ancestors, acknowledge them, give them an offering if you want to. What else can we get? Journey. Aries, what else can we get? Past life oracle card for Aries. Yeah, high priest, high priestess. This could be definitely something that runs in your family, even if they never spoke to you about it personally, or maybe they have and you're very versed in this sort of stuff. And the other person that you've met, this other, like I said, I seen two women. This other woman is also in the same kind of ranking, and you both have like a mutual understanding and respect for each other about this sort of thing. And it's nice to be able to talk and share with another person about this sort of stuff, especially like the esoteric or the spiritual aspect of it, maybe even religious aspect, depending on how you both speak about that sort of thing. But that could be something that was passed down to you. So you got your gifts, talents, and your abilities. All that DNA has information within it, and it's passed down to us from our previous ancestors. What else can we get? Transportation. So you could be very well moving around a lot, or you're used to moving from place to place. This has business written all over it. Like, not literally, but it feels like business-wise. Maybe you and this other person, and especially the other person that's been spying or was previously looking at you, are all working at the same place, or you're very close quarters. Yeah. Kind of personal. And we're gonna let's get 4 runes. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Aries. We'll do these quickly. We got Degas. Yeah. Degas, hope, transformation, happiness, success, dawn, breakthrough, awareness, planning, clarity, and breakthrough again. That's the letter D, and that's yellow and pink for solar plexus and crown chakra. That could be what you're in or you need to work on. Then you've got Urus, strength, willpower, power, speed, desire, courage, Ox, energy, and that's the letter U, and it's green and yellow again for heart chakra and solar plexus. Definitely worry about the solar plexus, focus more on that, the things that bring you joy. We got a blank one, so that's the moon. Anything that's left to be seen or hidden or unknown. And then you've got communication. You've got year, harvest, rewards, peace, patience, have patience, happiness, hope, earlier efforts realized, communication, like I said, teamwork, community, and balance. That's J and Y, and that's again green and yellow for heart chakra and solar plexus. All right,